Hi guys, my name is Tokir Ahmed and I welcome all of you on my YouTube channel Paramount Academy for English Language. Dear students, today I am here with a very important topic that is oftentimes confronted with confusion. Most of the students find it difficult to understand, and that is voice. And this is not the voice of physics, okay? This is a voice of language. Now first of all, I shall discuss the etymology of the word, that what does it mean. Then I shall talk about the semantically, that what does it mean. Clear? So voice, when we talk about in language, it means form of verb. Very simple. Form of verb. As you know that in English sentence, verb is the only word that tells you about the time of happening of an action. It is only the verb in a sentence that tells you either an action took place in the past, either an action is taking place, or it will take place in future as well. So form of verb is very important. So voice mean form of verb. As you know that there are two types of voice in English language. Number one is called active voice, and second is called passive voice. Okay. Now, what is active voice? Or when we say that our sentence is in active voice. So in English language, when your subject, when your doer of an action, when your performer of an action is doing something, your sentence is in active voice. Let me cite an example. Ali is reading a book. Now in this sentence you can see it's very easy to look at that Ali is your subject and here your subject is doing something. Ali is reading. Clear? Something is being done by your subject. Here your subject is performing or doing an action. As I told you earlier that when your subject does something or when the subject of your sentence does something, performer of an action is active, he or she is doing something, your sentence is in active voice. Clear? Or this is the only word which we call verb. It tells you that either your subject is doing something or something is being done to your subject. Clear? So on the other hand, what is your passive voice? When your subject doesn't do anything. When, in other words, in words of Alfred Evans, I should say that when your focus is not your subject, in active voice, our focus is on our subject. Clear? In active voice, our focus, our stress, our emphasis is on our subject. Clear? Now, when we talk about passive voice, it's vice versa. Our stress goes back to our object. Means our object is much more important in passive voice. Clear? Now, I am going to change. Later, I shall be telling you what are the fundamental rules that we have to abide by when we convert or change active into passive. And I will be changing one by one. So, here if I convert or change this sentence in passive voice, it would be a book is being read by Ali. Okay, now look, a book is being read by Ali. Here our stress is on a book. Okay, here book was an object. Clear? But here it is working as a subject of the sentence. Is being read. What is being read? A book is being read by Ali. Now in this sentence our stress is not on Ali, but our stress has converted, changed. Clear? Now a book is much more important because it is functioning as a subject in this sentence. So now I will tell you about the four major rules that we have to keep in mind while converting or changing active into passive. These are the fundamentals which we call in English. Now, before changing an active sentence into a passive, clear, you must bear all these rules on your fingertips. Number one, substitution of object to subject. Object to subject. I shall be explaining one by one. Number two, substitution of subject to object. Object. Number three, use of past participle form. Use of past participle, which we call third form of verb. It is to be kept in mind that we always use third form of verb, which we call past participle in passive voice. Number four, use of preposition by. Use of preposition by is added. So these are the rules that we have to bear in mind while converting or changing active into passive when we talk about the affirmative statements or what we call positive sentences. Okay, so what do I mean by substitution? Let me explain this word. Replacement. Clear? It means that when we change an active into passive, the object of active sentence, the object or the receiver or the recipient, something on which something is done. Let me explain that what is an object. Something or someone on which an action is done. It may be something, it may be someone. So, object takes the place of subject. Substitution means replacement. Means your object, clear, in active voice comes back at the place of subject. This is number one. Number two is your subject, your agent, doer of an action, your performer of an action, whatever you may call it. Clear? In modern English, this is called agent. Your agent goes at the place of object. Look, at the place of object. And you will have to be ultra careful about the usage of the case. Clear? Means when your subject goes at the place of object, you will have to use the objective case of your subject. Clear? I'm talking about pronouns, not the proper nouns. So, use of past participle, third form of verb, and use of preposition by is added. Clear? These are the fundamentals to change or convert an active into passive. So, first of all, this is the first lecture of a long series of tenses, and that is present indefinite tense. Today, I shall be telling you, clear, about the use, clear, or about the change of active into passive of present indefinite or simple present tense. Now, before converting active into passive of present indefinite tense or simple present tense, it is very imperative or incumbent to know that what is a present indefinite tense. Present indefinite tense shows an activity that is your habit to do. Simple one. And it, whenever we talk about present definite tense, clear, when your subject is third person singular, he, she, it, or any singular noun, your verbs takes the inflection SRES. Normally, if your subject is I, we, you, they, or plural noun, clear, they do not take any inflection, but we use the lexical or the root form of the verb, clear. So let me tell you with the help of examples. Number one, he reads a story. Okay, we are going to change the sentences of present indefinite tense or present simple present tense into passive voice. Okay, first of all, you will have to locate which one is your subject, then which one is your verb, and where is your object. Clear? Subject is doer of an action, doer of an action. Okay, your verb is action itself, activity or action. Story is your object or receiver of, clear, your verb read. So what did I tell you? The first rule, that you will have to replace, you will have to substitute, clear, your object with your subject. As you know that the place of subject in English is always the start of the sentence. So a story, a story. Okay, now this is your present tense. Either it is present or present continuous. You will have to use present, clear, helping verbs which we use to denote or to show an happening of an action in the present time. So this is very important, that here you will have to use present verb. So keep in mind the agreement of subject and verb. If your subject is singular, you will have definitely to use singular verb. So there are three helping verbs that we normally use when we convert the sentences of active into passive. These are is, am, are. These are the three helping verbs that we use when we change or convert active, clear, into passive of present indefinite or simple present tense. So we have to bear in mind, clear, the number of our subject. Is it plural or singular? If it is third person singular or a singular noun, clear, a story, definitely this indefinite article "a" indicate the singularity of your noun. So a story is, okay, because this inflection S shows that your subject is doing something in present time. So a story is written. Why did I write written? As I told you that we always use third form of verb in passive voice. A story is written. Now it's turn of preposition by, clear. Now this is very crucial, that when your subject goes at the place of object, you will have to be ultra careful about the case of pronoun. Clear? When this he will go at the place of object, you must know the objective case of he then. Okay? So he, him, she, her, they, them, I, me, we, us. So these are the cases that you will have to bear in mind whenever you are going to convert the sentences of active into passive. Clear? So let me give you some more example to clarify the concept. I hope that it would be of greater assistance to you in comprehending or understanding that what do we do when we change an active sentence into passive voice. Now, they buy a car. Now look, subject, verb, object. Now keep it in mind, as I told you earlier, that when your subject is plural, your verb doesn't take any inflection at all. What do we do then? We use the lexical root or the base form, which we call in English first form. Clear? First form of verb is used. No inflection. When your subject here, when your I is the exception. I is the exceptional case. Although I is singular, but it doesn't take any inflection at all. We don't say that I hates you. This is incorrect. I is also singular, although it is singular, but it doesn't take any inflection at all. This is the exceptional case. Clear? So far as we talk about subject verb agreement. So they buy a car. No inflection because your subject is plural. So this is your object. Clear? They subject buy verb. What did they buy? Clear? A car. Clear? That is the receiver of an action. So you will have to replace or substitute, clear, a car. Here you can see, whenever you read a sentence, clear, carefully, they buy a car. In this sentence, your focus is your subject. Your focus is your subject. But here, your focus is changed, diverted. A car is. Now look, why did I use is? Because a car, our subject is singular. So this is called subject verb agreement in English. That if your subject is singular, you will have to use singular verb. If your subject is plural, you will have to use plural verb. So a car is now third form of verb. Third form, bought. Clear? Use of preposition buy. Again, you will have to be careful about the case. Clear? Them. Their changes to them. So this is the construction of passive voice. Clear? And here is, don't consider it as object. It was object in active voice. Now it is subject. Why? Because your object never ever comes in the beginning or start of the sentence. Clear? This is not which we call syntax. Syntax. This is called syntax. Arrangement of words in a sentence. This is quite contrary to the syntax of English language. Your object, clear, is never ever put or placed at the start of the sentence. So don't consider a car over here. Here, in this case, a car is not your object over here. Rather, it is subject. Why is it so? Because number one, our focus is changed. Number two, we are talking about is bought by them. If I put my hand over here, is bought by them. What is bought by them? Clear? A car. Okay? Then whenever you ask a question, what? Clear? It gives answer of your subject or noun, whatever we can use. So a car is your subject over here. Clear? And because your object never ever falls at the start of sentence in English language. So here we have used them. This is objective case of they. Means when they goes at the place of object. Here the place which we call in English slot, means SLOT, slot. It means that the proper place of a word in a sentence. These are very packed words that I would like every one of you to bear in mind. Syntax, arrangement of words in a sentence in English language. Slot mean proper place of word in a sentence. So slot wise, your subject doesn't fall here and your object doesn't fall over here. So this is to be kept in mind, and we always use third form of verb. Clear? Then you will have to bear in mind the subject verb agreement. Clear? Although if your subject over here, your object is singular, but when it comes over here, clear, you will have to use your verb accordingly. Clear? Let me cite another example. Okay. I take tea. Now look. Okay. Subject, verb, Clear? Object. I take T. Simple. Now, T is your object over here. Clear? T. Here again, I have written this sentence by design or intentionally. Okay? Because I is your exceptional case. Whenever I is your subject, clear, in present indefinite tense or simple present tense, it doesn't take any inflection at all. Number one. Number two, when your object, this one, comes at the place of subject, clear? T is. Subject is singular, verb is singular. Third form of verb, taken. T is taken by me. I is subjective case, my is possessive case, and me is your, clear, objective case. Clear? He reads, clear, books. Here in this sentence, this is active. Here your verb, this one, it agrees with your subject, he. As I told you earlier, that if your subject is singular, your verb takes inflection S or ES. Okay? Now I shall convert or change it into passive voice. Books are. Here look, S because your subject is singular. Here books are because your subject is plural. Books are read. Clear? Pronunciation is a bit different. Spellings are same. Books are read by, okay, him. Okay, so this was a brief, very brief introduction of how we convert active into passive. I told you about fundamentals, means the very basic rules of converting or changing active into passive. Then we talked about that what do we do when we change active sentences into passive of present indefinite tense. I hope you people would have grasped the idea behind. Inshallah, very soon I shall be back with a new video. Please don't forget to subscribe my channel. It is a source of perennial what we call motivation for me. Till then, bye bye. God bless you all.